Well, hey there, everybody. It's your boy, Mr. Perry. And here we are. It's a momentous moment for us all here. We're about to get into strings. And the next couple of lessons are really going to focus on strings and all of the special methods that come with them. This is a big one. Strings are a big part of our AP exams, so we want to make sure that we're paying close attention to all the details here. So let's go ahead and get into our notes. First off, strings, what are they? They are any set of characters enclosed in a pair of quotation marks. So these are all strings that you see down here. You got string teacher equals Mr. Perry. You got string password equals all of this stuff, even these characters. You got string school equals Lakeland High School. And note this, string code equals, in quotation marks, 1630. So integers and equations are treated as strings when they are surrounded by quotation marks. And that's an important distinction to make. Same thing down here, string equation equals, and again, we've got what normally looks like something that would be part of a method calculation, but as soon as we wrap it in strings, Java is not going to try to compile this, do any of this math or whatever. It's just treated simply as a string, like any other string of characters. So in Java, there is, in computer science, in computer programming in general, there is what's called an API, which is a library of pre-written classes that simplify complex programming tasks for us. And the Java API is organized into what are called packages. Now, one of those packages is called the java.lang package. And this is a built-in package that includes the string class. So what that means is this class and all of the methods are readily available to us. This package does not need to be imported in order to use it. Unlike the scanner class, if we want to use scanner, we have to import java.util.scanner. But java.lang is just available to us, and it includes the string class. So the string class, strings are built into the java.lang package, which you automatically have access to, and it has certain attributes. It has the instance variable, a character array. So every string is treated as an array of characters. And it has behaviors. It has methods that we can call, index of, substring, length, compared to. We're going to get into all of these in the next lesson. Now, it's important to note that the way Java is organized, there is a parent class called the object class, which, as I describe it, I say it's way up here in Java cyberspace somewhere. And it does have some attributes that we don't have to worry about. But the object class also contains two methods, the equals method and the toString method. Now, all classes, whether it's string class, album class, pet class, they are all what we call subclasses of the object class, which means that they automatically inherit the parent class's methods. So the string class inherits these two methods, the dot equals and the toString method. And any other class that you create also automatically inherits these. But what's important to note is that the toString method from the object class doesn't do what we normally think it does. We're used to the toString method printing out the values of the instance variables. And that's not what the toString method from the object class does. It actually prints the memory address of each object. So if you create an object and if you create a class and if you don't give it its own unique toString method, if you print the name of an object, it's going to return the memory address of that object. And that's not very useful information for us. So most of the time, programmers will write their own toString method when creating a new class in order to override the object class's toString method. Usually when we call a toString method, we want to see printed out the instance variables, the values of those. We don't really have much need for the memory address of each object. All right, well, let's get back to strings here, and let's look at two ways of creating string objects. We can do what you see here, string hero equals new string, and then pass in Spider-Woman as your argument here. And let's see. Okay, sorry. We can also do it this way down here. String villain equals the prowler. And in both of these cases, hero right here and villain are both reference data types of the string class. So what that means is the variable name hero is it behaves as a pointer to an address in memory where the string Spider Woman will be stored. And similarly, villain, that variable name villain, will point to a different address in memory where the string literal, the prowler, will be stored. So remember that the variable names that you give them, the object names that you give them, what those do is those point to an area in memory. That's why they call them reference data types. They are a reference to an area in memory where all of that object data is being stored. All right, you can do what's called string concatenation. If you took computer science principles, you're very familiar with this. So you can do string insect equals spider, string gender equals man, and then string hero equals insect plus the dash plus gender. And then when you print that, that's going to go ahead and print Spider-Man. Down here, string hero equals spider, and then hero plus equals dash man. That would do the same thing. That would take spider, and then that would concatenate dash man to it, and then you could print it. So in both of these cases, it's going to print Spider-Man. But remember that you can only use the plus sign math operator with strings. The subtraction, multiplication, division, and mod will not do any work with any strings. So the plus sign only, but you can do it this way where you concatenate like this. But you can also create a variable, set it equal to something, and then update that variable using the unary operator, and that will concatenate to it as well. Okay. So let's see, string concatenation, a little bit more. Again, how do we add strings together? So this is important to note. String movie title equals the string literal Spider-Man, and then int sequel equals 2. And if we print movie title plus a space and then plus the variable sequel, that's going to go ahead and concatenate that integer to the title, and you'll get the output that you see down here. So ints, doubles, and booleans are automatically converted to strings when they are concatenated. As long as you have something that is a string at the beginning and then you have a plus sign, you can put ints, doubles, and booleans down here, and those will automatically get converted to strings and concatenated. Now, this one here is a little interesting. We've got a string movie title equals Spider-Man, and then we're printing Spider-Man plus a space plus 2 plus 0 plus 9 plus 9. And again, you might be tempted to think that these are all going to add together. But again, because you started with a string and then you're concatenating to a string and now you're concatenating these integers, it's just going to concatenate them like they are normal strings. They just automatically get converted. However, if you were to do this, if you surrounded the 2 plus 0 plus 9 plus 9 with its own set of parentheses, well, now PEMDAS is going to apply. And when Java goes to compile this line, it's going to want to get rid of this extra set of parentheses first. So it's actually going to add all of those together, and it'll get them the integer 20, and then 20 would be concatenated as a string. So that's important to note that if you add an extra set of parentheses, it will actually do the math first. Now we're going to look at the escape sequences, or the escape characters, as they're sometimes called. These are interesting. They allow you to print quotation marks, as well as print backslashes, as well as automatically skipping to the next line. And so if we look at these two print statements, we've got system.out.println, we've got a quotation mark, then a backslash quote, then an A, then a backslash quote, then a backslash N, then a backslash backslash, then a P, then a backslash backslash. So what I want you to do is pause the video now and look at what's being printed and see if you can make some guesses as to what's actually going to output when you run this code. So go ahead and pause the video, make a quick guess, and then we'll go ahead and go through and look at what's actually going to happen here. Okay, so I'm assuming you've paused that video, and we're going to go ahead and have a quick look. So let's go ahead and break this down. First off, we have a print line, and then we're opening our quotation mark, our parentheses. And so obviously the first double quote and the last double quote, those are the quotes that surround the string to be printed. So that's how it starts. Next, Java sees \quote, which is the escape sequence to print a quotation mark. This tells Java, the \ tells Java that this quote is not the partner for this quotation mark. It tells it just go ahead and print it like a normal character. Then we get to the A, so we're printing the A. Now we get to another \quote, so it prints the quotation mark. Now we arrive at our first \n, which moves the cursor to the next line. Now we've got \\, which is the escape sequence to print a single backslash. Now we're getting to our letter P, so it would print the letter P. Now we have another \\, which is going to go ahead and print another single backslash. So now we get to the end of our whole, everything that was inside these quotation marks. So this is a print line statement. So now we go down to the next line, and we start to look at what's enclosed within these quotation marks here. So we're going to print our letter C. Now \n moves us to the next line. We're going to print a letter S. \n moves us to the next line. We're going to print a letter A. And then finally, the print line moves the cursor to the next line. So there we go. So these are, again, important to be aware of, the escape sequences or the escape characters. And just, being able to read strings like this that are being printed, which look really, really odd. But just, if you can recognize where the escape characters are, then you should be able to go ahead and figure out what's going to print. Now, one thing that is important to know about strings are that they are immutable, which means string objects are immutable, meaning that they cannot be changed once they are created. Once a string object is created, it cannot be changed. So if you want to manipulate the string and come up with new versions of it, what you have to do is you have to call methods on it and store them in a new variable. Excuse me. So the only thing you need to know right now is calling a method like the substring method, which we're going to learn about in the next lesson. It does not change the original object. So movie title equals Spider-Man, even though down here it says movie title.substring06, we are making some new versions of the movie title, but we are storing them as a separate variable. So anyways, like I say, strings are immutable. Once you create them, they can't be changed. So if you do need to change them, the only way to do it is to create a new variable and then call the methods. All right, time for our lesson review. So strings in Java are objects of the string class that hold sequences of characters. They are part of the built-in java.lang package in the Java API. String objects can be created by using string literals, so string s equals hi, or by calling the string classes constructor, such as string t equals new string by. String objects can be concatenated using the plus or the plus equals operator, resulting in a new string object. Primitive values can be concatenated with a string object, and this causes implicit conversion of the values to become string objects. And the escape sequences start with a \ and have special meaning in Java. Escape sequences in this course will include \quote, \\, and \n to print out a quote, a \, and to bump down to a new line. With that, guys, we are done with our lesson video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave that question or comment, and I'll see you in class.